Hey, what's going on, guys? So if you watched my last video about the coronavirus pandemic, you may have remembered that I mentioned that I was going to make some new videos that I've been wanting to make for quite some time now. And this video is one of them. For a while now, I've gotten comments in my past videos where people have mentioned my Funko Pop Collection, like, hey, do a Funko Pop Collection video. You just show off your Funko Pop figures. And no pun intended, but I figured now would be a great opportunity to do so. Now keep in mind, I don't own every pop figure that Funko has released, because I don't feel the need to buy every single pop figure that Funko has released. And I'm not going to mention every figure with a deep, long synopsis, or else this video will be like 10 hours long. I'm only going to mention each figure with a quick synopsis, where I got each one, and if I have like a cool story behind whichever one, I'll just mention it. Alright, so let's start my Funko Pop collection video with the first Funko Pop I ever bought, and that is the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who. I'm not really into Doctor Who anymore because I feel like the show is nowhere near as good as it used to be nowadays, but I bought this while I was still in my Doctor Who phase, and I bought this from Hot Topic because it was a Hot Topics exclusive. And even though I'm not really into Doctor Who anymore, I still have fond memories of watching the show, and I still have respect for it. Now the next one up is yet again another Doctor Who figure, and that is the 10th Doctor, who was played by David Tennant. I got this as a Christmas present one year, back when I was in my Doctor Who phase, and most Doctor Who fans, or Whovians I should say, pick David Tennant as their favorite among the Doctors, and not to sound biased, but I fall into that category too. Now the next one up is yet again another Doctor Who figure, but luckily it's the last one, and it's the 12th Doctor, who was played by Peter Capaldi. I got this from a local toy store called Big Fun, which is located in my hometown in Columbus, Ohio, in the downtown area, in the Short North area. And if you're from Columbus and if you're watching this video, hi. And anyway, Capaldi, sure, he wasn't as good as Smith or Tennant, but I thought he was very underrated in my opinion, and he was really solid in my book. Now we're done with the Doctor Who line, and now we're moving on to Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters. I bought this along with the 12th Doctor figure at the Big Fun store that I mentioned earlier, and sadly, this is the only Ghostbusters pop figure that I own so far. I know Funko made a new lineup of Ghostbusters figures last year, and I'm hoping to buy Ray, Egon, and Winston. My fingers are crossed because I really want to buy them. The next figure up is probably my personal favorite in my collection, and that is Shrek. I bought this at the FYE store at my local mall, and sadly I don't have Donkey and Puss in Boots. I know Funko released those figures as well. I don't know if I want to buy the Donkey one because it looks absolutely terrifying. My wish for the future is I hope Funko re-releases the Shrek line of pop figures, because I want Puss in Boots, I want a less terrifying version of Donkey, and I want them to make a Fiona figure, because imagine how cool that would be. The next figure up is Jack Torrance from The Shining. Just in case if you guys don't know, The Shining is my favorite horror movie of all time. I think it is the quintessential horror masterpiece. And of course, I had to pick up the Jack Torrance figure. I bought this from FYE, the same store where I bought the Shrek figure, and this is one of the best pop figures Funko has made. Just look at this. Like, this is legitimately amazing. And yes, I finally got a chance to watch Dr. Sleep. I watched it a while ago, and to be quite honest, I have some really conflicted feelings about it. So the next figure up is Willy Wonka from, obviously, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I bought this from a store at the mall. It's a store called Go. It sells games and toys and all that stuff. And I actually wasn't planning on buying this one, but Gene Wilder passed away, and I thought it would have been respectful if I just bought this anyway. And Gene Wilder gave one of the best performances in film history as Willy Wonka, and we all have our ways of remembering those who left us, and this is my way of remembering. Now the next figure up is the nicest person in human history, and that is Mr. Rogers. I bought this from GameStop, and as someone who watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood growing up, I had to buy this. I mean, come on. It even has the trolley. Sorry, Mickey Mouse, but the next figure up is probably the most iconic cartoon character of all time, and that is Bugs Bunny. I have a pretty interesting story with this one. So, when Funko announced that they were going to make a line of Looney Tunes pop figures, I was excited, because I'm a huge fan of the Looney Tunes. I mean, who isn't? So, I went on this website called Pop Geek, where I pre-ordered the Bugs Bunny figure for a price that I thought was pretty good. I don't remember exactly the price, but anyway. So, I waited and waited and waited until I realized the website that I pre-ordered it from was a scam site. And sadly, it never came in the mail, and I fell into a deep depression. Until one time, I went to Hot Topic, and I saw this on the shelf. And the second I saw it, I grabbed it. I was like, oh, I'm buying this. I'm buying it. Because you don't even realize how much trouble went into buying this stupid figure. So the next figure up is yet again another Looney Tunes character, and that is Daffy Duck. Bought this from GameStop, and like I said, I'm a huge Looney Tunes fan, and Bugs and Daffy are easily my favorite characters from Looney Tunes. And I know Funko released other characters like Taz and Sylvester and Tweety, and I think they recently made Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, but I think it was a Funko Shop exclusive, and I was kind of sad because they sold out. And if they make more figures in the future for the Looney Tunes, I will buy them immediately. Now, the next figure up is Woody from Toy Story. This is from the recent Toy Story 4 lineup. I don't remember the exact store I bought this from. I believe it was either Hot Topic, GameStop, or Barnes & Noble. I don't remember, but as a huge fan of Toy Story, as someone who grew up watching the movies, I had to buy Woody. And I also bought another character along with Woody, and that character is Buzz. Just like with Woody, this is from the recent Toy Story 4 lineup. Again, I don't remember the exact store I bought this from, but like I said, as someone who grew up loving Toy Story, I had to buy Woody and Buzz. And I might buy Jessie as well. Now, the next character up is Michael Scott from The Office. I bought Michael from Spirit Halloween, and just in case if you guys don't know, The Office is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. In fact, I think it's the funniest show ever made in television history. And when I heard Funko was making a lineup of The Office figures, you can probably imagine how super hyped I was. And not only did I buy Michael, but I also bought Dwight. Got Dwight as a Christmas present this past year. I don't know the exact store. I think it was Amazon or something. And as a huge fan of The Office, I had to buy The Office pop figures. And I want to buy Jim and Pam and all the other characters as well. Now, the next characters up are the smallest ones in my collection. They're the pop minifigures, and they are Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Linus, and Lucy. I got these as Christmas presents one year. They were Target exclusive, and I want to take extra care of these because, like I said, they are the smallest ones in my collection, and if I lose one, I'm screwed. Now, technically, they're not as hard to find as, say, like a Lego minifigure, but still, if you lose one of these, chances are you're screwed. Now, the next figure up is yet again another Stephen King character, and that is Pennywise from It. Of all the Funko Pops in my collection, the one that I really wanted to get my hands on was Pennywise. And he was pretty hard to find, but luckily I found him from GameStop. I bought him off of the website, and now that I have him, my life is complete. Now, the next figures up are the most iconic duo in animation history, and they are Tom and Jerry. I bought Tom and Jerry together from Barnes & Noble, and as someone who grew up a huge fan of Tom and Jerry, I had to get my hands on these. The only problem I have with their designs is the eyes. I mean, the eyes look kind of creepy. You gotta admit that. I mean, every time I looked at them, I get terrified. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna suck my soul out of my body or something? I mean, look at their eyes. Just just look at them. The next figure up is actually the first superhero in my collection, and that is Batman. This is the Michael Keaton variation from the recent Batman 80th anniversary lineup. I got Batman from Hot Topic, and technically, Michael Keaton is not my favorite Batman. Christian Bale is still my favorite Batman, hands down, but I had to get the Michael Keaton one because the way they made him look is awesome. I mean, this looks almost identical to the movie. Like, the attention to detail is amazing. Now, the next figures up are some figures that I'm very excited to show you guys, and they are SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. I got this variation of SpongeBob from Hot Topic. This was a Hot Topic exclusive, and this is the variation of him wearing the band outfit from Band Geeks, which is the best episode of SpongeBob of all time, as well as one of the best episodes to any TV show in television history. So, obviously, I had to get my hands on this, and it looks phenomenal. Now, as for Patrick, Patrick is my favorite character from SpongeBob, and I don't remember the exact store I bought him from. I believe it was Hot Topic, but I don't remember. And lastly, I have Squidward. Now, Squidward I bought from Box Lunch. Box Lunch is basically Hot Topic, except not as creepy, if that makes sense. And obviously, you guys can tell I'm a fan of SpongeBob when I own SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. The next figure up is my favorite superhero of all time, and that is Spider-Man. This variation of Spider-Man is from the original comics from the 1960s. This pop figure is from the recent Marvel 80th anniversary lineup, and I got him from GameStop. The next figure up is Bond. James Bond. This variation of James Bond is from Casino Royale. This is the Daniel Craig one, and Daniel Craig is my favorite of the Bonds, and this was actually the last Funko Pop I bought. I bought him from Go, where I also bought Willy Wonka. And now the next figure up is Elton John. And Elton John is one of my all-time favorite singers. I bought Elton John from FYE, and around the time I bought him, FYE had a deal where you can buy one pop figure and get 2 or 3 for free, I think. And of course, I fell into that rabbit hole, and I'll show off the other figures that I got real soon. Just like with Elton John, the next figure up is yet again another real-life person, and that is the creator of the Muppets, Jim Henson. Jim Henson is one of my idols. I grew up watching the Muppets as well as Sesame Street, and I bought him from Walmart. And I know there was another variation of Jim Henson holding Ernie, but I bought the one with Kermit instead because Kermit the Frog is essentially to Jim Henson what Mickey Mouse is to Walt Disney. The next figures up are also from my childhood, and they are Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. I actually bought Scooby and Shaggy separately. I actually bought Shaggy first. Now, you guys may have remembered when I talked about Elton John when I said FYE had a buy one, get 2 or 3 for free. I bought Shaggy as well as Elton John. And Scooby I bought from Box Lunch. Now the next figure up is Yoda. Now this variation of Yoda actually has different colors, not just green. I think there's one that's like orange, red, and purple, but I bought the green one because, come on, Yoda's green. Like, come on, it's his signature color. And this variation of Yoda is from the Funko 2019 Summer Convention, I believe. Now, like I said earlier, I'm from Ohio, and it would be a crime against humanity if you lived in Ohio and collect Funko Pops if you do not own Brutus the Buckeye. I got Brutus from GameStop. Now, Funko usually releases college football mascots as pop figures, and I followed them on Instagram, and the second Funko announced that they were making Brutus into a pop figure, I got excited immediately. And the second I saw that he was available for pre-order on GameStop, I bought him immediately. And now, guys, we've come to the end of my collection. The very last figure up is Garfield. Just like with Dwight, I got Garfield as a Christmas present this past year, and I was so happy to receive Garfield. I'm a huge fan of Garfield. I love the comics. The movies are bad, But like I said, I'm a huge fan of Garfield, and Funko also released Odie as a pop figure, and I'm considering buying him too. Well guys, that's a wrap for my Funko Pop collection. Now keep in mind, this is my collection as of right now, as of this present day. I'm obviously gonna buy more Funko Pops in the future, so the question is, will I make another collection video in the future? Just wait and see. I have more videos planned for the next week or so, so if you want to see more of my videos, just be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more great content.